Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Hit that subscribe button, hit the likes button, and also hit the bells button so you always know when I upload a video. And if you are in need of a life coach, I'm going to say it at the beginning because I always forget to say it at the ending. I am a life coach. And you can head over to my website at michelle-shipley19.org. You can sign up for a free 15-minute consultation if you're in need of life coaching with a relationship or anything else in your life that a life coach does to help you get through finances or to help you get away from a toxic relationship. I can give you the tools on how to do that. So head over to my website. I do 15-minute free consultations, so you're welcome to go over and sign up, and we can get started with life coaching for you. And thank you all to all of my new subscribers that hit that subscribe button. You're going to love it here. Here we do cooking. We discuss a little bit of everything. As you know by the title, it's Straight Talk and Cooking with Michelle. So today, let's get into this story. This is about a police officer, mind you. Someone that we are supposed to look up to, that's supposed to serve and protect us. And this guy did not do that with his own family. This guy was in the news when that shooting, bang, 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 bang took place way back in the day when the movie came out, and there was that bang, bang in Colorado with the Knight Rider. It was that movie, and I can't think of it, but it was that big in the movie theater out there. He was one of the first police officers out on the scene, so he made headlines with that. And his daughter said that shortly after he made that happened, that he had PTSD, and that's when he had started touching her. And this has been going on, I believe they said, since she was like 5 years old. He had started touching her. And he had been doing it ever since. There was a time that he had put held his son's face underwater. His son is now grown and has spoken out on what happened since. And his son said that he remembers his dad putting his face in water until he blacked out. And he believes that the reason his dad did that is because he walked in on his dad R-ing his sister. If you guys can hold on for just one quick sec. I'm going to try to get out of that because I cannot stand my emails. But he believes that he walked in on his dad doing that, and that's the reason his dad had put him underwater to stop him from telling anybody. So the mom then, they had to go to couples therapy, and for some reason it was, they went to couples therapy, and so the mom didn't want the children to go with the dad because of what he was doing to this little girl. And she ended up going to jail. She was made to go to jail because she held the kids back, protecting her children as a mother should do. And she was made to go to jail on weekends, every weekends for like 17 weekends, because she held the kids back from this monster, from this police officer that was supposed to protect and serve. Anyway, we're going to get into this video of this predator. And as I'm covering these stories, I say to myself, because I'm often shocked, that the parents are doing this. But then I look and I say, gosh, it's all around us. It's the parents, It's the parents' boyfriends, it's the fathers, it's the parents' girlfriends, it's the police officers, it's the teachers. We can't trust anybody with our children. We have to have, great parents. We have to be great parents, and we have to look out for our children. We have to really be there for our children. It's so much of these sick individuals around our children. It's just impossible. I'm flabbergasted. Our children don't stand a chance unless they have excellent parents that's going to stick out and watch them. Otherwise, they just don't have a chance. Because there's so many sick individuals out there. It starts with the parents. If they can't trust their parents, who the hell can they trust? And excuse my language. Anyway, let's get into this video.
All right. Can I get you like the last out?
That's the wrong one.
Our detectives have determined.
Where is it at? That's not it. That's not it. I'm thinking of Maddie, right? I had it there. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me.
A retired police officer in the Denver area is accused of raping his own daughter for years, starting when she was just 5 years old. He's also accused of sexually assaulting his ex-wife's 2 daughters, whom he adopted. Michael Hawkins is free on bond right now after being charged with 6 felony counts of sexually assaulting a child and 1 misdemeanor count for child abuse. According to court documents, that child abuse count is connected to an alleged assault that occurred in Costa Rica while the family was on vacation in 2018. Hawkins allegedly held his eldest son underwater while he blacked out. The boy, now an adult, told police he believes the assault was connected to him catching his father allegedly molesting one of his sisters. Rachel Pickrell Hawkins currently has custody of the couple's youngest sons, ages 10 and 13. She told the Denver Gazette that they had been living in a domestic violence shelter, but Hawkins is fighting to get sole custody of the 2 boys, and the family has been ordered to participate in a reunification therapy program. The therapy is supposed to help repair the children's relationship with their father. But Pickrell Hawkins claims that the so-called therapy is actual psychological manipulation and coercion. She refused to allow the boys to participate anymore, which resulted in her being held in contempt of court. The judge ordered her to report to jail for several weekends in a row as punishment. Pickrell Hawkins has been documenting her experience on TikTok. She posted this video before she reported to the county jail for the first time.
Corruption in the justice system is punishing me for protecting my children. So today I began 7 weekends of jail in the Weekender jail program because I will not stop protecting my children and speaking out about the abuses that have happened to them that have now resulted in criminal charges against my former spouse, and they are 7 counts of felony sex assault on child by person in position of trust and misdemeanor child abuse, covering all 6 of my children, even my adult children. And the judges and the magistrates and the reunification therapists that are forcing contact with my children's abusers are responsible for this. And I am one of many moms out there fighting to keep my babies safe. I've gotten a lot of support, and I am so very grateful for that, because this has been a very lonely road. It's been a very hard, difficult road, but it's one that I know that God has permitted, because He's building me into His warrior, and I wouldn't be going this morning if He hadn't prepared me. So I intend to go in there and serve this unjust time, but I'm going to do it with dignity and integrity.
When she was released the following Sunday, Pickerel Hawkins posted another video.
I just want to say, kudos to this mom. Kudos to this mom. Because I look at Madeline Soto's mom, Jen, and I look at this monster of a stepmom that did this to this little girl. And I look at some of the other cases of the mothers that I've done on this channel that don't support, or even they can care less about their children. I look at the case that I did with the boyfriend of this mother, the one that had HIV, and she knew that her daughter was being AR'd by this monster of a coach. And she got fed up the last time when she rolled over and he wasn't in bed, and she went into the room and he was AR'ing her daughter. That's when she got fed up and went and got her GUN. But she didn't protect her all the other times. And so kudos to this mom, and God bless this mother for protecting her children. And for her protecting her children, they send her to jail to do her weekend because she did not want to send her children to this monster. This is what we get when we try to protect our children from people that are hurting them. We get punished. But when we don't, we're talked about. And look at Jen, she's walking around. I guess, it's okay because she's still walking around while her daughter is in the ground. What is this world coming to? And I just had to stop and say that.
Saying she spoke with other women inside the jail dealing with the same issues with court-ordered reunification therapy.
There's more to this, and I'm going to see to it that it comes to an end, and that my children and any other children are saved from this.
Pickerel Hawkins has to report to the jail for 6 more weekends. Michael Hawkins has denied the allegations against him and posted a $50,000 surety bond in July. He has to wear a GPS ankle monitor while he's out on bond. The lawyer representing him in both his criminal case and divorce proceedings, Christopher Estel, said in an August court filing that Pickerel Hawkins is not a credible witness and is highly manipulative, according to the Denver Gazette. You may be asking, how can a judge consider giving custody of young children to a parent who is currently facing such serious charges? Well, the order from the judge came while the investigation into Hawkins was ongoing, but official charges had not yet been filed. The judge wrote in one ruling, the court also notes that no criminal charges have been filed, and the Department of Human Services findings can be based on statements of the child alone with no corroborative evidence. The charges came later that same month. The judge also said that the allegations against Hawkins do not involve the 2 children he's trying to get custody of. That magistrate upheld a ruling from a previous judge that required weekly 2-hour reunification therapy sessions, some with the father present and some with the boys on their own. Court documents show Christine Bassett is the marriage and family therapist assigned to the case through the Lighthouse Christian Counseling Network. Pickrell Hawkins was accused of interfering with the court-ordered therapy, but she claims that the intense sessions are harming the children. The mother says she has requested the court to allow her to find a different therapist, but says she was denied. She says she arranged for family members to care for her youngest children when she reports to jail for the next several weekends. And Michael Hawkins has made headlines before for a different reason. He was one of the first police officers to respond to the Aurora movie theater shooting in 2012, when 12 people were killed at the premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. He testified during the shooter's trial, recalling how he carried a child's body from the theater. Hawkins' daughter told investigators that her father suffered from PTSD after witnessing that horrific scene. And she said that the first time he allegedly assaulted her was later that same year. Hawkins medically retired from the Aurora Police Department in 2018. Again, he has denied all the allegations against him. I want to quickly highlight a sponsor of Sidebar that makes episodes like this possible, and that's Noble Gold. If you're worried about the future of this economy, this could be the company for you. With so much uncertainty these days, it's natural to fret about the security of your retirement savings. But
to resume contact with children, and so the mother is understandably upset about that and objecting to what's called this reunification therapy process.
And let's get into that, the reunification therapy program. Why do you think that was suggested, given the allegations he still faces? Also, given that he's also accused of physically abusing his son that he's trying to reunite with?
Yeah, that's a bit of a head scratcher in terms of why the judge thought this was appropriate. My understanding is that the reunification therapy was ordered before the dad was actually charged with some of these offenses. And there may be a hearing coming up to determine the appropriateness of reunification therapy going forward. But, it's sort of this flowery, nice notion that we'd love for all the children to, reunite with all of their parents and everything will be hunky-dory and that'll be great. But I think the realities of life show us that that's not always the best course of action. And we're really seeing that illustrated here in this case.
And court-ordered reunification, what are your thoughts on that entire program? Especially, this case is very unique. I understand maybe how it could work in the cases of two divorced parents wanting to reunite, making sure that their kids are okay. But in this case, with parents, one of which is accused of these horrible acts against children, what are your thoughts on that entire program?
Generally speaking, I think courts should endeavor to rehabilitate, to try to make things better in terms of relationship dynamics where appropriate. But I think there's a line there. And I think that, some folks have said, gosh, is this the government going too far into the personal lives of these folks and saying, oh, hey, we know what's best for you. We know what's best for your kids. Whereas the mom is saying, whoa, wait a sec. It's not best for my kids to be around this person at this time. He's facing charges for sex assault on a child and child abuse.
And, we've kind of touched base a little bit at the beginning of this interview, but bringing us to talk about Rachel in this case, I think a lot of our viewers, everyone who reads about this case, it's just so surprising to hear a mom is thrown into jail for doing what she believes is best for her children, protecting her children. What is your reaction and what are your thoughts on how she's dealing with all of this right now?
What a terrible position to be in. Not only are you going through a divorce, which is a huge bummer as it is for anybody's life, but on top of that, you're dealing with these child custody issues, these severe allegations against the father, and she appears to be just trying to take measures that she can within her own power to protect those kids. Now we need to make sure that there are court orders that are valid and that are enforced. But it appears that she's kind of engaging in a little bit of civil disobedience, in my opinion, here, where she's saying, "Hey, this order is unjust, and following it is going to subject my children to future harm, so I'm not going to do it." And she's been slapped with a jail sentence as a result.
And what type of legal actions could she take in this case? Can she take any legal actions in this case?
Contempt is hard to get out of. Contempt is essentially that the allegation that she knowingly defied a lawful order from the court and that she interfered with this reunification therapy. Sometimes you can challenge contempt on the basis that the order was vague. Sometimes you can challenge it on the basis that she didn't knowingly violate it. Instead, her headspace was somewhere else. She was trying to do something else. There's also a possible choice of evils defense here. In Colorado, if if you are sort of forced to break one law in order to avoid some more serious harm, then you could raise a choice of evils defense. And the judge had other options besides putting her in jail. The judge could have fined her, could have taken other measures, but he didn't. And so now we're at the juncture where she's defending against this contempt charge and the impending jail sentence.
And how much of the children's voices can be heard in this type of case? Is there any possibility that they can go to a lawyer, and I'm just kind of giving a scenario here, go to a judge and tell the courts, I don't want to be near my dad at all. I don't want to be around him. I don't want this. This is not something I want. I agree with my mom. Do you think that's a possibility at all in this case?
As a general rule, in Colorado, once children reach a certain age, and I believe these children have reached that age, they do get a say in terms of parenting time and in terms of custody, in terms of who they want to be with. And so they can relay that to the judge typically, and the judge is supposed to give weight to that. Now, it's not a deciding factor. The judge has to look at other variables as well. But certainly the children can attempt to advocate for that. I'm not sure if a guardian ad litem had been appointed for any of these children, but if so, that person can stand in as the advocate for the child and the child's best interests in conveying to this judge that apparently these children may not be in favor of the reunification with the father, at least at this time.
And do you think we'd be having this discussion or even talking about this case if, say, Hawkins was accused of drug dealing or accused of murder or something along those lines, and he wasn't a police officer or a former police officer that also used to be hailed as a hero? Do you think we'd even be having this conversation given that Hawkins was at one time this decorated hero in Colorado? A lot of people looked up to him. A lot of people aspired to kind of be as brave as him during the shooting that had happened about a decade ago. But do you think that we'd even be having this conversation if he wasn't a police officer and he was accused of something else like murder or drug dealing?
The fact of Hawkins's former career as a police officer, his apparently heroic efforts in the theater shooting in Colorado, and then the fact of these very severe inflammatory allegations against him, I think has pushed this case to the forefront. So it's present in our minds now. Whereas if those aspects would have been absent, I'm not sure it would have seen the light of day. But I think a big part of it is this irony where he's out, even though he's facing extremely serious charges, and she has been sentenced to jail. And everyone is kind of saying, hey, this seems backwards. What's going on? What actions do we need to take to try to rectify this in our community?
Now, say you were Rachel's defense attorney. What type of advice would you be sharing with her at this time?
Unfortunately, in dealing with court orders, it can be a delicate dance, and you don't want to do anything that is against your moral constitution. On the other hand, you don't want to sit in jail for 7 weekends in a row. So is there kind of a healthy balance where the mother can still take measures to protect her kids, perhaps filing motions for additional supervision during this
downfall from hero to he was diagnosed with PTSD from our understanding, and then is accused of the
Okay. So this mom does the right thing, keeps her children protected, does not want to have her children go to stay with the dad because he has abused and hard the children. Excuse me. And she's thrown in jail for defying the court order. Now, I think at a certain age, there should be some type of, I'm all for children reuniting with their parents. But I think that it needs to be done, especially when there's extensive scarring and physical. I think that it needs to be monitored. And I think that they need to just make sure that someone's present when they put these kids back before they put the children, and they say, okay, have them overnight. They need to do it slowly. So it needs to start with, okay, You can come and do visits in front of me for a good 6 months. It needs to be monitored with someone being there so that the kids can feel comfortable getting, back in the swing of things. But it shouldn't be to where you just say, okay, I'm going to give you weekends or an overnight visit with your dad, and, so that he could do whatever he wants for that overnight visit. I don't think that the kids should just be thrown back in to a situation. It's scary for the children, and it's unfair to those children to be thrown back into those situations with someone that they don't feel comfortable with. And I don't blame, and I kudos to this mother for standing up and saying, I'm not going to send my children back into a situation where they're not safe. Because we have so many mothers that don't care. We have so many mothers like Jen Soto. We have so many mothers like this mother that let her child sleep with, well, not let, but did not turn the other cheek when her boyfriend was R-ing her 13-year-old with HIV. We have mothers that allow their children to be nailed to the wall by their boyfriend and think it's funny. We have so much of that going on where the children are not being protected, to where when this one mother stands up for her child, she gets thrown in jail for 7 weeks. And I'm going to correct that. I said 17. It's 7 weekends in a row. She's punished. To me, Jen should be punished because she's still running around out here. But yet and still you want to punish an innocent mom for protecting her children? Is it because he was a police officer? They do wrong too. We have good police officers, and we certainly have bad ones. They are not above the law. So kudos to this mother. I give her, my hat is off to her for standing up and protecting her children, as so many other mothers out there should have been doing and should be doing, protecting their children. This is awesome. And I hope that we see many more mothers standing up like this one and protecting her children. And good luck to her. I hope that this man does not get visits by himself with these children. I hope those children are able to speak up for themselves and say, I don't want to go with him. I don't want to see him overnight. I don't want to be with him by myself. Let me know what you all think about this case. This is one of the cases that it's like the mother finally stood up for her children and she's being punished for it. My goodness, people, come on. Leave your comments down. Let me know what you all think about this one. This is just like, I'm just like, my goodness. We finally get a good mother, and this is what happens. And I pray for her children that they can clear their minds of all of that, because it's really hard when you are emmed and ard as children. I know it's really hard to get over it. And, as growing up, these children are going to still have those problems and those traumas. Even when you get older, it still follows you when you're abused and emmed and even ard as children. Those traumas will stay with you, and there will always be triggers. And I say that to say this: anyone out there that is facing those types, that you've had a hard childhood, just be careful who you entrust in telling your traumas to. Be very careful on who you entrust. And I say that because when you marry someone, it takes a special person to deal with your traumas and and be able to help you along with it. Because you're going to have those triggers. And make sure that you marry the right person and that you trust that person with your innermost secrets, because you don't want a person that you marry throwing those secrets that you tell them back into your face. And then especially when you tell them those triggers that you have, and they take those triggers that you tell them and they use those triggers against you. So be careful who you entrust your precious, most innermost secrets with too when you're growing up. Because those people that you entrusted with and they take it and they use it against you, those are cowardly men. So you don't want those cowardly men that you entrust your secrets with and they use them against you. And you tell them that's a trigger for me. And then they sit there and they use those triggers over and over and over against you. And, like if you tell them your trigger, don't do that. It makes me feel this way when I cry and you laugh, or if you walk away, that makes me feel a certain type of way. And then when you're, having an argument or you're doing it, they walk away. Because that's just, they're doing it on purpose to torture you. So be careful with that type of person. Just a little insight for, because these kids are going to have traumas as they get older because of what this monster did to them. So just be careful and pick the right people as you grow up to spend your life with and to tell your secrets. Don't tell your secrets to just anybody. Make sure it's the right person. And that's for the men and that's for the women as well. Just a little tidbit of information to take care of yourselves. But hit that subscribe button, the bells button, and also the likes button, people. And again, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave your comments, and those likes button, people, get those likes up. And also, I will be going live on Saturday at 6 p.m. I am going to put it in the up on Saturday to remind you all. Please join me so that we can talk live about some of these cases. And I will bring some of you all up, share the link with you, and get to meet some of my new subscribers. And help me get to like 600 subscribers, guys. You did it for me this week, and I really appreciate it. So come on and help me out, guys. Get me up there. So again, likes, help me out with those likes, and also subscribe to my channel. You'll love it here. Go back and watch some of my other videos, my cooking videos, and let me know if you've tried any of my recipes and you like them. Leave those comments as well. But leave a comment to this video, especially, and to the one that I did yesterday or the day before. You'll probably get that this one 2 days later. But leave those comments. Let me know what you think about that video as well, about the stepmom, that monster, and then about this mom that is helping her child, that actually stood by her child, and she got arrested. I don't get it. But until next time, bye.